Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about our 5 tips to surviving the NICU.
Yes, and our first tip is, I think, fairly obvious, but maybe not, and that is find a routine that works for you.
Yeah, actually this is the best part because you are trying to find the best time that you have with your baby. The more time you spend with your baby, the better the bond is between you and your baby.
Yeah, but I think it's important to say that obviously you have to do what's right for you and your family. We were very lucky that we were able to make our situation work, so one of us was there pretty much all the time except for a little bit overnight. And there were definitely other families who didn't have that, and that was okay. It was obviously tough for them, but it was what they needed to do. So I guess that's something else. While you're there, don't judge other families' routines because every family has different things going on. But what worked for us was I was still working, so I would get up at about 4, shower, get ready for work, head to the hospital to be there for her 5 a.m. feeding and some cuddles and some reading time. And then I usually left at about 7 to get to work by 7:30. Meanwhile, you were what?
I was at home. I was sleeping. I was trying to get as much sleep as possible. I would get up at around 9, get ready, clean the house, and ask for Uber or Lyft. At the moment, I couldn't drive because I just had the C-section, and not only that, I was half blind. So
Literally.
literally. So yes, that actually worked. Once I got to the hospital, it was all about the baby.
And then usually I was off work by around 4:30. I would come home, take care of the dog, make us some dinner, change and shower if I needed to, and then go to the hospital, encourage her to eat. We'll talk about that in a minute. It takes some time for herself, and then I would cuddle Ani. We would stay there through the night routine. And then I feel like most nights we were leaving at about 10:30.
Yes.
And then I would drive us both home. We would get home at about 11:30, and then we would start the whole thing over again. That was the routine that worked for us. Like I said, I think in a lot of ways we were exceptionally lucky that we were able to be there that often. But I do agree with Lauda. The more you can be there, I think the better you'll feel, and the stronger your bond with your baby.
Okay, tip 2, self-care. I believe this is a very crucial tip because you always have to make sure you're taking care of yourself before you can actually take care of your baby.
Or each other.
Or each other, yeah, because your baby at one point is taking care of you too.
Yeah.
For example, make sure you're sleeping when you can. Overnight, for me, it was hard, especially because you're pumping, you're waking up every 3 hours. Worried. The NICU nurses at one point knew my name already because I was the mom calling at 1 a.m. to make sure the baby was fine. So,
our NICU didn't let us sleep there. We were not allowed to sleep in the NICU. So for us, we had to go home.
Yes. So, but you can call.
Yeah.
And you can call and make sure that your baby's fine.
So in addition to sleeping, eating. Make time to eat, especially if you're the breastfeeding mother. And even if you're not, eating and trying to eat as healthy as you can. I often would pack her a lunch before I left for work and arrive at the hospital much, much later in the day, and she had not eaten it because she didn't want to leave the baby's side, which I understand, but you were just saying you have to take care of yourself first. It's, I think, all the more important if you're the one recovering from a C-section or the delivery. You need to be eating.
Have someone to talk to. Make sure that you have a friend, your mom, your sister, or your spouse.
I think it goes along with have somebody to talk to, but also know when you're not ready to talk. I feel like a lot of times in the evening when we were just leaving the hospital and Ani was staying behind, the emotions were so raw for us that we needed a couple minutes in the car of just
quiet.
Just reflecting, and then when we were ready, we were pretty chatty. And I think I texted my mom and my sister a lot. I talked to a couple people at work a lot.
I actually texted my sister a lot, and I think my best friend, Vivian. So She
So
knows
have
a lot
some
of it.
people. And then the last thing with self-care is like find the joy. It is tough and it's easy to get wrapped up in how tough it is. But there are good little moments. There are good little things. People do nice things for you. And I think it's okay to feel happy and appreciate that joy.
That's true. And I know in some cultures it's just so hard to actually get that help. Like, for example, for me, it was just so hard to see that help as someone doing something nice for you instead of feeling sorry for you. So it's a line that you need to understand that it's for your own good. In other words.
Yeah. So tip 3 is have a prepared, thought out NICU bag. For us, the first thing we always had in there, I would usually pack it before you got up, was some healthy snacks, especially for her, had some carbs and some protein and some fats. A lot of times you took Belvita, like breakfast biscuits or a granola bar with little peanut butter cups, and a water bottle. If you're the nursing mother, they will let you have water at least at our NICU, in the NICU with you, and you do need to be drinking it, which was one thing you were very good about. You were very good about drinking
I had
water.
to refill it several times a day. Just also make sure you have like a shirt, a jacket, or again an extra shirt. As you're breastfeeding, you're gonna know that sometimes it just doesn't stay where it's supposed to stay, and you're gonna stain yourself, or you're gonna end up with a wet part in your shirt. So it's better to have something extra just to change and feel dry again.
Plus, it was chilly in our NICU.
Oh, it was.
And while we really like hoodies, if you had like a zip up jacket, when you went to do skin to skin, you could just unzip it. Obviously, like not have a shirt on under it, but unzip it a little, have the baby in there, and then it was just easy and cozy. You also, at least for us, again, I think we've mentioned it before, we have older phones, so we always made sure we had a battery bank. And again, our NICU is good about letting us use the outlets to charge our phone, so a charger and a charging cord.
The next one is a audiobook to read to the baby, and this one was awesome because I remember walking into the NICU when Marie was there, and she would like be reading a book to her, or just listening to a book that both of them will like.
Yeah. And for me, the book I chose was a book that I would like. Ani was so little, she didn't care. Granted, I did read her some Dr. Seuss and some other kids' books, but I really like the Harry Potter series, so I read her the Harry Potter series. It's enjoyable for me, and she's still getting the benefit.
And for me, I actually had a Spanish book that's called Cuento de Buenas Noches para Niñas Rebeldes. So hopefully she will be a very positive, rebellious girl. Yeah. I want to put the positive first, just in case.
And then the last thing that we always had in our NICU bag was a pen and a notebook. There's a lot of information that gets thrown at you, phone numbers, just things like that. And it's nice to have a pen and a paper to write them down. And also for you did like a little bit of journaling and, recording how you were feeling at that time.
Oh, yes.
So that was tip number 3.
Tip number 4, trust your medical team. Ask questions. Just make sure that if you have anything that you are not understanding about what's going on with you or your baby, just ask questions. We have our nurses there all the time, so they were actually a pretty good source of answers for us. We would just go to them and ask them what we were having issues with, and they were pretty good at answering most of them. And if for some reason they couldn't answer it, they will find someone for you to answer it.
That's one of the questions you might have to ask is, who are you? I can't tell you how many times I'd be there, particularly in the morning hours before a lot of parents had gotten there yet, and there would be someone, with their hands in the isolette checking on the baby, and I'd have to ask who they were because the physicians do on-call days, so it's a different physician each day. The lead nurse for the unit changes. You have OT, PT, speech, chaplains. There's just so many people that one of the questions you might ask is, who are you? But yeah, I think definitely share your concerns. A good example for us was when we brought the little sound machine in, a lot of the nurses didn't want to use it because they felt like it was too loud. And we really had to advocate that, no, this is something that's safe. And then the nurses and the medical team that knew that, we had to get them to help us sort of back up that thing that we felt was important. But yeah, and if there's other concerns, I think she feels too cold. I think, the feeding schedule isn't working for my schedule. Is there any way we can adjust it? We found our medical team to be pretty willing to accommodate, obviously within reason. And if nothing else, they were happy to hear our concerns and then go from there.
And trust your nurses. This is the easiest and most comforting, I guess, for a mom to know that your baby's in good hands.
Yeah.
And your nurses are going to be there like 24/7 with your baby.
Yeah.
They have a schedule 7 to 7 every day. And they will introduce you to the following shift nurse, like personally. They'll go to every baby and every mom to make sure that you know who's the next person taking care of your baby for that time.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you get to know them. They're actually pretty good, and trust them. They're very knowledgeable people, so
yeah,
trust them.
I agree. So tip number 5 is sort of a miscellaneous category. And the first part of that is accept help. If people are offering to, make you meals or drive you to the hospital, in your case, walk your dog, if you have other children, help with the other children, it is totally okay, and I think pretty smart to accept that help. There's a lot on your plate. You're juggling a lot. People are helping because they want to. If they're offering to help, they want to do it. So kind of like you were saying, it's sometimes hard to accept that help, but accept that help within reason. I mean, don't let strangers take your kids or something, but
no, usually when it's friend and family, they're doing it because they see you, they see how you're changing, they see how you're feeling. So they're not doing it, again, they're not doing it because they feel sorry. They're doing it because they seriously want to help you. Yeah. And also once you're at the NICU, make sure you ask about meal vouchers and parking passes
or discounts.
Yes. I actually didn't know we had a meal discount until like the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Not that she would have used it anyway, because you weren't eating the meals that I packed you.
I know, but I should have known, because I actually
it was actually the same with the parking passes. We had no idea. I had paid to park when she was in the hospital. I was paying like 24 hours of paying, and at our hospital you could pay $60 for an entire month, which was like way cheaper. So ask for sure. And the last one is, and it seems obvious, take pictures and video, and ask other people to take pictures of you as a family. I think we were both pretty good, if only one of us is there, of getting a quick selfie or a picture of the baby. But we don't have many pictures of us as a family, and I don't have any pictures of me reading to Ani at all. And that was something I did at least twice a day, every day that she was there for 5 weeks. And I think we could have gotten more videos too. I wish we also had pictures with the nurses. Some of the nurses we got pretty close with, we don't have any pictures of the nurses. And they might have said no, and that would have been okay, but at least we could have asked.
No, we didn't even ask.
Yeah. We also didn't ask they did her footprints for Mother's Day and Father's Day, but that was it. We didn't get newborn handprints. We didn't get newborn footprints. Well, we did get newborn footprints because she was born on Mother's Day. But ask about those things. Think about the mementos that babies that go home right away would have, and make sure you're getting them, because you will want them later.
True.
That's it, unless you can think of anything else.
No, just enjoy your time. Make sure, I know it's a difficult time to be in the NICU, especially with your baby. Been so little, but there are moments, even being at the NICU, that you don't want to forget. You really want to enjoy those moments. It is hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's just hard having a baby in the NICU. But just enjoy those moments. It's like, it's your baby. It's still your baby. It's still someone that needs you, even in those times.
And you need them at that point, because you're hooked. Yeah.
True.
So hopefully those are helpful. If not, Sorry. They're the things that we wish someone would have told us ahead of time.
That's true.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right.